morning, my dear students. How are you? Hope you are all well. This is Mrs. Abir, your English teacher. Our lesson today is about clauses. What is a clause? As you see over here, clause is a group of words that contains both subject and a verb. When you speak about clauses, we have two types. The first type over here is independent clause. And the second type will be dependent clause. Whenever you see dependent clause, you have to know that there is something will be called subordinate clause will be attached to this part. And when you speak about subordinate clause, we're speaking about words like although, before, after, that, so that, when, while, and some other words. Once again, independent and dependent clauses. An independent clause is a group of words that contains the subject and a verb. This will be making a complete thought and will be expressing a complete idea. Like the example we have over here. Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz. As you see over here, Jim is the subject, studied will be the verb, and the rest of the part, this is the subject complement, which completes the meaning of the sentence, which gives us the idea. But whenever we look at this part, which is a dependent clause, this is something else. It's a group of words, yes indeed, that contains a subject and a verb. But this part, or this dependent clause, will not express a complete thought. Why? As I said at the beginning, don't forget the subordinate clause. Whenever you see some words at the beginning, like although, when, and so on, some other words like what I showed at the beginning, my sentence will not be having a meaning. My sentence, as I said, having a meaning. Like the part we have over here. When Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz, it's mentioned that it's not a sentence. Why? Because the meaning is not complete. And I have the word when. This word when. With it at the beginning of this part, the sentence will not complete at all. The sentence needs something else to be completed. Okay? Here we have the practice for this. Let's clear the idea more and more. The exercise says, or the practice says, identify each bolded group of words by writing IND, independent clause, and DEP for dependent clause. This is sentence number 1. Okay? I have here, it said, she liked the fact that the class began with simple shapes. Sentence 2. A point was the first thing. Check. The bold part is the second part over here, and it starts with that. Don't forget what I said at the beginning. Second sentence, it's a point that was the first thing. Okay? It's at the beginning of the sentence, and I don't have a subordinate clause. And here is the third sentence. Every square is rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. The last sentence over here, when Nick draws triangles, he uses a ruler. When we go to this sentence, we'll see that this is the part I'm talking about, that the class began. Okay, begins with simple shapes. When you speak about this part, when we look at the first sentence over here, that the class begins with simple shapes, here, this is dependent clause because it starts with a subordinate clause. The second sentence, once again, a point was the first thing. This is a dependent IND, dependent clause. Why? Because it has everything, all the elements are available. The third one, every square is a rectangle. This is what? This is yes. As you know, it's independent clause. Why? Look at the second part. It starts with But, so this is the dependent clause. And when you speak about number 4, the last one, and sentence number 4 will be the same thing. It has, or the bolded part will be the dependent part. Okay? Here, another example. Add independent and dependent according to the missing part you have. Okay? So before the food gets cooled, if you check number 1, you'll see that yes, it's what? It's the dependent clause. Why? Because it starts with the subordinate clause, which is before. If I want to add something to complete my sentence, it will be a complete sentence with a verb, subject at the beginning, verb, and all the elements as I said. So I can say it like this. Before the food gets cooled, I will eat my lunch. The second one. When the teacher arrives, so once again, what is this? It's a subordinate clause, so I need to add independent clause. This is my independent clause. Okay, the students sit in their places. The third one over here, it's a subordinate, and I need the independent clause. When my friend leaves, I'll finish my homework. This is the independent clause, which I need to add. Number 4, while flowers continue to bloom, the garden smells wonderful. Number 5, unless you have the right shirt, you will not go to the party. Independent clause even. So whatever I have added here are independent clauses, or simple or sentences, complete sentences. If you can work on Saturdays, I will be able to visit my friends. Finally, hope it is easy for you all, and don't forget, it's for your own safety. You have to stick to Corona cautions. Okay, stay blessed.